The Hurricane by Bob Dylan. 2, 3, 4. Pistol shot ring out in a barroom night, and a belly Valentine from the upper hall sees a bartender lying in a pool of blood, cries out, "My God, they've killed them all." Here comes the story of a hurricane, the man the authorities came to blame for something that he never done. Put in a prison cell, but one time he could have been the champion of the world. Three bodies lying there, did Patty see? Another man named Bello moving around mysteriously. "I didn't do it," he said, he throws up his hands. "I was only robbing the cash register, I hope you understand." I saw him leaving and he stares as he stops. "One of us better call up the cops." And so Patty calls the cops, and he arrive on the scene with the red lights a flashing in a hot New Jersey night. Another part of town, Reuben Carter and a couple of friends are out driving around. Number one contender for the middleweight crown had no idea about the shit was about to go down when a cop pulled them over to the side of the road, just like the time before and time before that. In Patterson, that's just the way things go. See, if you're black, you might as well not show up on the street unless you want to draw the heat. Alpha Bradley had a gripe with the cops. Him and Arthur Dexter Bradley were out just prowling around. He said, "I too saw two middleweights look like middleweights jumped into a white car with out-of-state plates." Miss Pally Valentine just nodded her head. Cops said, "Wait a minute, boy, this one's not dead." So they took him to the infirmary. Though the man could hardly see, they told him he could identify the guilty man. Morning and they hauled Reuben in, took him to the hospital and they brought him upstairs. Wounded man looked up from his one dying eye, said, "Why'd you bring him here for? He ain't the guy." Here comes the story of a hurricane, the man the authorities came to blame for something that he never done. Put in a prison cell, but one time he could have been the champion of the world. Later, the ghettos were in flame. Reuben, South America, fighting for his name, while Arthur Dexter Bradley still in the robbery game. The cops are putting the screws to him, looking for someone to blame. Remember that murder that happened in a bar? Remember you said you saw the getaway car? Think you'd like to play ball with the law? Think it might have been that fighter that you saw running in the night Don't forget that you are white. Author Dexter Bradley said, I'm really not sure. Cop said a poor boy like you could use a break. We got you for that motel job. We're talking to your friend Bello. You don't want to go back to jail. Now be a nice fellow. You'll be doing society a favor. That son of a bitch is brave and getting braver. We want to put his ass in a stir. We want to pin this triple murder on him. He ain't no gentleman Jim. Reuben could take a man out with just one punch. He never did like to talk about it all that much. It's my work, he'd say, I do it for a pay. And when it is over, I'd just as soon go on my way up to some paradise where the trout streams flow and the air is nice. Ride a horse along the trail. But they took him to the jailhouse where they tried to turn a man into a mouse. All Reuben's cards were marked in advance. The trial was a big circus, he never had a chance. The drudge made Reuben's all drunkard, witnesses all drunkards from the slums. To the white folks he watched, he was just a revolutionary bum. And to the black folks, he was just a crazy nigga. No one doubted that he pulled the trigger. And though they could not produce the gun, the DA said he was the one who pulled the deed. And the all-white jury agreed. Carter was falsely tried. Crime was murder one, and guess who testified? Bello and Bradley, and they both badly lied. The newspapers, they all went along for the ride. How could the life of such a man be in the palm of some fool's hand? To see him obviously framed, couldn't help but feel ashamed to live in a land where justice is a game. Now all the criminals with their coats and their ties, free to drink martinis and watch the sunrise. Reuben sits in a 10-foot cell, an innocent man in a living hell. Yeah, that's the story of the hurricane, the man the authorities came to blame for something he never done. Put in a prison cell, but one time he could have been the champion of the world. Yeah, that is the story of the hurricane, but it won't be over till they clear his name and give him back the time he's done. Put in a prison cell, but one time he could have been the champion of the world. mistakes, but that's the hurricane by Bob Dylan.